Financial freedom is a choice. You can choose how you want to live your life. You can choose where you work, how you live, where you live, any city you want. You could go and travel. You could RV life. You could do whatever it is that you want to do with your life because of financial freedom. Now, money in and of itself doesn't buy happiness or freedom, but without money, you'll have a very hard time being able to choose how you want to live your life. So this video is going to be about financial freedom and the freedom in choice. You get to choose your future, and I want to help you to unlock the secrets to financial freedom. And once you've unlocked that, your life is open. You can do whatever it is that you want to do with that life. So let's get into it about financial freedom. In fact, let's go walk around. Let's go look at another screen. Let's change it up. So what is the secret to financial independence? Now that we're outside, hanging out, I'm gonna level with you guys and give you the real secrets to financial independence. So you gotta start by tracking your spending. If you aren't tracking how you're spending, if you aren't tracking the way in which the money leaves your account and comes into your account, you don't know. Until you get the light right there on your spending, you don't see that you spent $483.29 on eating out last month. You don't see that you spent $300 in gas. You don't see that that weekend trip to the fair cost you $326. You don't notice that you're spending $3,000 a month on your housing and transportation, which is crazy. You got to take control by first measuring. If you can't measure it, you can't make it. So that's the first step. You got to measure what you're doing. Then you got to start taking some actions to cut. You got to look at what you're spending, look at what you're earning. How can you improve those earnings? How can you cut that spending? In a nutshell, that's the choice you have to make. Do you want this freedom? Do you want to be hanging out at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday in a park in your backyard with your kids more than you want that thing, that new latest iPhone, that latest gadget, that newest car, whatever it is you think you need? Do you really need that more than your family? Do you really need that more than your mental psyche being healthy and strong, your physical body being healthy and strong? Those are the compromises you're making, and that's the reason you're shackled to your cubicle. So once you understand what you're spending, you got to start cutting, right? Then you got to build an emergency fund, because most people don't even have 2 or 3 months of living expenses set aside. That's where you start. I call it your mini fire. Your mini fire fund is basically a little bit of leeway, a little bit of freedom. Once you have 3-4 months of living expenses set aside, you don't have to worry about losing your job tomorrow. Pretty much any of us can find a job within 4 months if we're decent at what we do. So if you have a 3-month career issue, it's like, oh, I have this fire money set aside for a sabbatical so I can find that thing that I want to be doing. Now, ideally, we're going to keep building that. It's going to go from a small emergency fund, fire fund, to this massive fire portfolio that you can live off for the rest of your life. You want the asset to generate passive income for you. Ideally, you want to withdraw around 4% on the gain of that asset each and every year. So if your assets, say you have $1 million and you've invested that and it's earning a 6 or 7% rate of return, you can withdraw 4% of that safely, leaving 3% in the portfolio for growth to continue to beat inflation. So you can take on $1 million, 40,000 passive income each and every year. In a future video coming up, I have the 8% rule. I'm going to talk about why real estate is amazing, because real estate, you can use leverage to ensure much higher returns just from cash flow on rental income, not from appreciation strategies, not from retail arbitrage strategies, just from rental income, net operating income. How you can get 8% safe withdrawal rate all day long. And I'm doing the data, running the numbers, and I'm testing it. And with rental properties here in London, Ontario, 12% safe withdrawal rate is even possible. But let's be more conservative and call it 8% across the Midwest in the United States and many other countries in the world, and a lot of towns here in Canada. I'm grabbing a lot of different data, and I'm trying to find out if that 8% safe withdrawal rate is sustainable using a portfolio that basically, instead of a 60-40 bonds, replace that 60% bonds with 60% real estate. Levered real estate. So you have a mortgage on that property, which is what you want, because then your money goes that much further. Your buying power is 5-to-1 at 20% down. So that's really cool. We're talking more about how you invest that money and how that works. But once you've mastered how you're going to save some money, now you figured out you're going to start investing that money a little bit, start building up that emergency fund, start building up that fire fund. You get to make the active choice each and every day to move towards freedom. And as you get there, as it starts building up, you're going to feel better about your life. You're going to feel more confident, more secure. You're actually going to feel more free. I went into the exact same job, the exact same cubicle, and I felt freer knowing that I didn't need the job. So the minute you isolate that dependency on the job, it already creates a ton of mental freedom. So that's what I want for you guys, is that financial independence, that financial freedom. And the secret to it is mostly up here. It's about following the series of steps to unlock that for yourself and for your family. Let's keep going. This concept of financial independence and retiring early. It's catching on in a big way. Well, why? 71%, according to a Gallup study, of people are unsatisfied in the work that they do. They're not happy where they spend 50 hours full time where they spend their life. That's a real issue. That's a real problem. Now, the 71% that I'm appealing to who are stuck in traffic commuting, who hate their jobs, who hate what they're doing with their life and why they're doing it, these are the people who are watching this video. These are the people who need to make the choice, the conscious choice starting today, starting tomorrow, to spend less, earn more, and maximize those returns. At the end of the day, the most basic concept is this. You've got income coming in, you've got money up here that comes in, and you got money going out. Most people spend around the exact same as what's coming in as what's going out. That's a problem. What you need to do is learn how to get this spending line way, way, way down. So I want to see your green that's going out down here. I want to see you find ways to bring it down, and I want to see you have ways to earn more money. Bring that income up. This gap is called your savings. It's what you're saving. Very, very important. If you're not saving today, doesn't matter what you're earning, what you're making, what your plans are, you're not getting ahead. You're not growing your net worth. You're not building your financial future. You will not achieve financial independence. You will not be able to retire early. You will not have financial freedom. You will not be able to go out on a Wednesday afternoon with your daughter for a walk. You're limiting yourself and your ability to live the life that you want to live. So the first step to understanding your money and mastering that relationship with your money and unlocking financial independence is to master the relationship between what you're spending and what you're earning. And you need to have a gap there, a big gap. There needs to be like half of what you're earning being spent. So in other videos, I've talked about ways to get your spending way down. I've got strategies for living with a big family on $24,000 a year. How you can live on $60, $70 a month for your grocery bill. Strategies and tips and hacks to live frugally. These are all things that are very, very important in the beginning of your journey. Now, if you're already frugal and you're following this channel and you know already all the strategies or most of the strategies to save money, we need to now talk about ways you can earn more money. We need to talk about your relationship with how you manage that difference. Because once you've mastered this and you start to save, you will build wealth. But to build wealth even faster, to get to financial freedom way quicker and more sustainably, you need to learn how to invest this smartly. So we've got videos on that as well. So how do you invest a lot of this capital? What do you invest in? Do you invest in stocks? Do you invest in different equities, bonds? Do you invest in real estate? So let's understand the circle of life when it comes to managing your money. How does it work? You've got money coming in, you've got money going out. You're not getting ahead. Every single paycheck, all the money that you earned is gone. You can't seem to save for the future. You can't seem to unlock financial independence. And you just don't understand this thing about financial freedom and FIRE. You're working hard every single day at a job that you don't enjoy. You're trying to provide for your family. So what is this? What's Mike talking about? You've got to understand the relationship between what you're earning up here, what you're spending down here. I want to see the cash going out of your bank account, out of your credit card, the cash you're spending to live your life. I need to see that drop. You're probably spending right about here on things you don't even realize. There are ways to cut right now. You can make active changes right now to drop that spending. That's important. There are things you can do right now to increase your income as well. So if you increase your income and you decrease your spending, what happens? The gap between what you're earning and what you're spending, it grows and becomes savings. That gap, that difference is what you want to maximize. The catchphrase on this entire channel you guys know is spend less, earn more, and maximize your returns in that order of importance. And then once you've built that nest egg, once you've unlocked a lot of that financial freedom that you need for yourself, that's when it becomes more about how to maximize those returns. That's when we'll have those conversations on what do you do with this difference? How do you invest that in stocks, real estate, bonds? What are the different asset classes you should be owning and why? So we'll talk in future videos about that, but this is the basic understanding, and it starts, I think, with making the conscious choice to not eat out tomorrow, to pack your lunch tonight. It's the conscious choice to cancel the cable and get Netflix. It's the conscious choice to move from a 3-car family to a 1-car family. It's a conscious choice to live in a duplex instead of a single family. It might be the conscious choice to cut your own hair at home. It might be the conscious choice not to buy that next thing you thought you needed, that iPhone 10. Instead, you're okay with the iPhone 8. It might be a way to find that little hack that's going to get you a lot of the way there, because every choice you make, I talk about freedom of choice, you have the choice right now to unlock your financial future, to really unlock FIRE. And that's the beauty of that, is that you are in control. A lot of us think that we're not in control. We think, you're either born with money or you're not born with money. And at the end of the day, I think it's really important to understand that most people that are born with money have to make the conscious choice to make more of themselves. There are a lot of people who inherit family businesses, who win the lottery, who lose everything. They run the family business to the ground. They burn through all the cash they're gifted and given in inheritance. They burn through those lottery savings. People blow it because they make choices. So it doesn't matter where you start in the world. You can't control where you started. I grew up poor as well. I understand. You guys see my videos about growing up poor. But it's conscious choices and mindset shifts to move the needle forward in your own financial future in the right direction. And that's what it's about in this video. We're going to talk about some of that freedom. If I haven't sold you yet on why, let's go for a little walk outside, because I think if you can see the outside, you can see the sunshine, you can understand why you need to be doing this. Think about your family. Think about your friends. Think about your life. What do you want to be doing with your life? Is it traveling around the world, or is it stuck in a cubicle working for someone else? Do you want to be running your own business, or do you instead want to be slaving again for someone else? It's a choice, and you'll have to follow a series of steps and stick with that plan to unlock success, but the power is in your hands. So financial freedom is a choice. And at the end of the day, you have to start taking steps today towards your goal. You got to set that goal. You've got to be dedicated to it, because at the end of the day, you got to delay that gratification. And in order to delay that gratification, the carrot at the end of that stick has to be big enough. You have to want it enough. So you got to put it in perspective, set the goal, stick to the goal, and become 1% better each and every day. So let's say you save $20 tomorrow. You don't spend $20. That small change has a huge impact over your entire life. $20 a day even adds up to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of dollars because of the beauty of compound interest. A dollar saved today is worth $65 in retirement. So start saving today, because your money will begin to grow. And before you know it, you'll not be 1% better than you were yesterday. You'll be in 100 days, 100% better. In 1,000 days, 1,000% better. And the next thing you know, you'll be financially free, living the life that you want to live. Spend less, earn more, and maximize your returns to unlock a wealthier you and to reach fire. Cheers.